Okay, and we've returned.
We're back.
I think I was talking about those gloves, but another reason that I kind of wore them is I kind of wanted to differentiate the cloaks, differences a little bit. So I figured adding those would give a nice effect. And as it turned out, I'd still have kind of white bands across my hand from where the hole in the gloves were. I basically got suntanned on those, but my hands were covered up. So. And if you look closely enough too in this opening shot, you can see people's breaths.
It was cold.
I think it was about 38 or 36 degrees out initially when we started. This is about maybe 9 or 10 in the morning.
There was a balance there. Suede was probably the most comfortable. He had I think 3 or 4 layers plus the cloak that he wears over himself. I think I was next up because I had about 3 layers on, including a button-up shirt underneath, a t-shirt, and just the costume itself, plus the cape. And then Phalos with his sweatshirt, he was pretty good.
Yeah, but everybody else fairly, they were, I think, didn't realize how chilly it was out, because we did have coats and whatnot, but they didn't bring them down to the filming area. They left them in the car.
I brought mine. I said people can use it.
That was about a mile or 2 away.
Well, here's the thing. We all figured... Well, it was April, and we figured by this point at least warmed up enough so we can be outside.
Right.
It's always extremes with us whenever we're doing this. In April, when originally in the Brawl, everything was done inside, so it was not a big deal, though Spoonie did not bring a coat because he did not expect to need a coat.
Right.
For Reno, none of us were really quite dressed because few of us lived in the desert.
It actually had just rained, I think, the night earlier, so it was... Or it was about to start raining near the end of the day as well. It was actually sunny in the morning, but as the day went by, it started getting cloudier and cloudier.
I love how the weather was more unpredictable than Reno, which was up in the mountains.
Right, and so if you look around, too, you can notice that kind of the path that they're walking on, it kind of goes down a little hill, and there's a pond down there. That pond was actually fairly full.
Okay, you want me to really to break suspension of disbelief with this? We're on the same path through the entire thing. This is the same stretch of area. Every single scene we filmed together, we were in the same area. I don't know if that was the case for Team 2.
Team 2, yes and no. I didn't actually see the tail when they first released the rough copy of it.
Well, it's because the rough cut had a much lower quality, so you couldn't tell. There's me walking in the background because I realized, I'm supposed to come up and rejoin you guys. So okay, just be walking in the background.
It's funny with Bennett's costume. I think the first day of shooting, because this was the first real day of shooting.
No, it was the second day. The first day was inside of Doug's house.
Right, but this is the first team shot or team shooting. He actually, the tail that he has, you can't really see it, but the tail he had, it had a little lion tail at the end of it. He actually stepped on it and it broke off, and for the rest of the time he just had the tip was gone. But the tail itself is not positioned on a tailbone, kind of right above your butt. It was actually at the bottom part of the suit, so from behind it looked like he was just taking one long...
Oh, dear.
One long poo out of there. It's whoever designed that was not thinking.
And another thing to break your suspension of disbelief, I don't have a holster for my sword, so anytime I'm holding it against my belt, I'm just holding it against there. I have no actual... and anytime I'm pulling it out as if I'm pulling it from a holster, it's never happening.
I know some people were saying, was it... Was it actually supposed to be the guy behind it, with the puppet, and then, wasn't it just supposed to be the cat? It's no, it's supposed to be the puppet as well.
They're one.
That's the joke.
They're one continuous entity. The puppet, it's like a psychological thing. The puppet has, it's like the ventriloquist in Batman. The ventriloquist it's a psychological thing. The puppet has its own separate personality, which apparently controls him. I demand respect!
And I think this guy was another one of Doug's friends that they know from Chicago.
Trivia note, this is the guy, if you recall my crossover review with The Last Angry Geek, this is the guy who we force feed one moment in time, one more day and then kill.
Kitty.
Kitty with with epic headbutting powers. It's not really punching us because it's just ramming itself into us. And then biting our noses.
Oh, Lupa.
Rock Biter Smash!
Who does that?
I don't know what was up with the Rock Biter Smash thing.
If you'll notice, the silver paint on Phalus's face is actually kind of sloughed off a little bit because they took a lot of takes to that. And the paint itself is kind of this low quality. You could see the tail a little bit better.
It varies every single time and you see it. Sometimes it looks like it's much more even and spread out and everywhere. Other times it's blotchy in places.
At least, too, I forgot to mention...
We're just nitpickers, aren't we?
with Tom's hair there. Tom is very, very tall. And I actually met Spoonie's ex-girlfriend, Scarlett, at MagFest, and she's very tall as well. So several times I mentioned to some other folks that from behind, with that hair color, Todd kind of looks like Scarlett. So it just made me laugh.
Well, he's not. He's Willow.
Yes, and here she is speaking Hindi, which I really didn't realize sounds a lot like the Elvish that they... Because I know that originally Elvish, in terms of J.R.R. Tolkien, I believe, was meant to be Gaelic in some respect.
People said that that the running gag of her doing the Arwen montage grew stale. We only did it 3 times, though. We did it. It was rule of 3, and in fact, we only do it for part 2. And then we don't do it again until part 5, and then part 7 for the ending with Malachite. And even then, even then, it changes each time. She's saying different things. She's doing different things.
By the way, really well done. I don't know why I like that shot so well. And that look she does, really nicely acted.
Well, she's very calm and controlled. She's I just saved the day because I am awesome.
Yeah, she has her presence there is very well done.
Very elven. Mm-hmm. And then Lupa. Love the fantasy music they have playing for her. I'm trying to think of it, like it's a combination of like I think a violin and a flute, and it's very perfect. It's very calm, princessy, which of course nicely contrasts with her yelling at Doug because she's doing her character.
I think some fans called it like lady doming or something like that. But my favorite line is actually when she's teaching him how to curtsy. But yeah, I think the reaction here should have been like oh, and then him go, yeah, that does sound douchey, doesn't it? But
I think the looks speak volumes. Like, dude, no.
Yeah, it's just, oh no.
This is not like M. Bison and the of course thing. It doesn't work.
And Lindsay there on the right completely ad-libbed. She actually caught her cloak there. Holly and I were sitting to the right, and we watched it, and it was a perfect kind of shrug of the shoulder.
Shots of nature.
Yeah, and this, I think, Team 2 actually filmed their parts. I was there too because I was a shade. Or cloak, or what have you.
I know, I make that same mistake because it's the same kind of costume.
This was all shot on Easter, so we did have some people kind of going through, and every time they'd run by, say, Happy Easter, Happy Easter. So, like, yep, we're just filming a movie.
We're doing our Easter production of Lord of the Rings.
Yep. And it was still fairly early, so not everything is green or blooming. But yeah, I love that shot too.
Yes, my rage! Give me your rage, trees! Tweez.
Yeah, and this scene went on for a longer amount of time in the original script. Because
Yep,
he had Luke kind of go into his little show a little bit there.
Yeah, there were like two jokes, two major insult bits. There was one that Luke countered instantly, and then the one that led into the P-ness joke, where Luke consults his other personalities, and they're like, "Yeah, go with the P-ness thing."
Which I think Rob is a big fan of The Critic. And I think this is where, he kind of borrowed from that a little bit. Filled with country goodness and
green penis. Right, that's awful. That's awful. I'm leaving.
Quit. Maybe just a handful for the road.
Yeah.
Aha, what luck.
There's a French fry
stuck in my beard.
We were quoting The Critic inside the house when we were filming all this.
Yes, so...
Rosebud frozen peas.
They're even better when you're dead. I'm going to eat your penis. And it's funny, too, because he has a very thick English accent, and so when he says it in that voice, it's very funny to me.
I'm already at the back. Doug has said before in one of his Kick-Assia commentaries, I believe, that he loves pairing up people who don't usually interact and just letting them run with it. That's why he had the Cinema Snob interacting with Benzai, and I think it really works well with him interacting with Juwario.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is where he says I couldn't bring it on the plane. Yeah, he actually didn't fly. But
Yeah, so... It's just as well, though. It's still funny.
Mm-hmm. Throughout these
Here's what any strong heterosexual man uses, a whip.
Yeah, like if you'll notice in the paths to the side of there, yeah, there's a lot of standing water. So literally the path we're walking on is just a bunch of wood chips. And about maybe 12 inches off, it gets soggy and wet. So when you're trying to find somewhere to sit down, it makes it very difficult.
I love just that hand smack.
Yep.
It's slapstick, but it's basic good slapstick. Look, we know speak either Miyazaki. And look, people, she's just getting into character.
Right.
And her character is from an anime.
There we are.
The other thing they can identify is you were the cloak and the jeans.
Yep.
Though I think was it one of the Jims who was the other cloak?
I think so.
His pants I think change a couple of times.
Yeah, I used jeans in my work boots, which actually worked really well because they were waterproof.
What's odd is that in some shots you can see through the see-through of the black masks. Other times it gets that nice shadow effect. Every single time you never ever see through the see-through on The Last Angry Geek. Mm-hmm. The others you do. I don't really know why.
I don't know. Maybe it's just how it's shot.
Just the way the lighting hit them, I guess.
And I think actually Doug dubbed over me there.
I asked him about it and I asked him if he wanted to. If he needed you to do redubs, and he said, no, the reason why I did it was because I wanted to give the three cloaks very distinctive, different voices, and yours, while it was perfectly comprehensible, it sounded just a little too close to the other one.
Okay.
In tone, so...
This was all ad-libbed by Spoonie. And originally he was just going to he's got the staff in his hand. One of the takes where we just let him go straight, he literally just handed the staff over to me, and I just kind of and just took it from him. And so the second take we did it a bit more, practice. But yeah, too magic, and his little rant there. He originally I think did a LARP once, and yeah, he's talking about the World of Darkness rules, which is rock paper scissors. And so I really kind of go, oh, okay.
What the hell? I'm really looking forward to seeing the alternate takes of this because he says he did like 3 or 4 different rants, and I can't wait to hear what else he came up with. We're doing the bird seed today.
I think originally we were planning on having like loose bird seed, so it would kind of splatter. But I think the packets he has there are actually sugar packets.
Yeah, he didn't have it. They didn't have any actual bird seeds, so they did sugar packets. But it works.
Again, I think Bargo was supposed to go out and get some, but he didn't. And at that time, we just really didn't have time for it. So
we had to
just grabbed some sugar packets and went with it.
We had to keep readjusting Todd's mask because while he could see through the one he usually brings with him for these kind of occasions, the Dread Pirate Roberts mask, which had the eye holes, that kept shifting around, so we couldn't see half the time through it.
I just love how Spoonie is. You're never gonna play this game again.
It's like, oh, I got you now.
Yeah.
It says he was going for an Arnold Rimmer thing, and I really do hear it.
Yep. And the hat gag. There it is.
His power is beyond any of you.
Yeah, I mean, if you look on the sword here, yep, it's got the tape.
Snapped.
A lot of people did notice that, but I think it works just fine because it just shows how kind of lame everybody is.
We are here. It's once again like the Kick-Assia farce thing because we are not the best people for this kind of thing. We're a bunch of internet critics. I think again, Phaelus did these effects, but I really like the explosion
when he shoots it off and you see stuff flying in that is really well done.
The dust, yes.
Yeah.
It's debris that sells it.
Mm-hmm. Run like children.
Oh, that was not this one. This one was just, wet yourselves and run!
He was actually not there with us. That was put in later.
Though it works, though. It really looks like it was just like that. And we will
Okay,
continue.
we'll continue on in the next part.